Hello and a warm welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. We're back this beautiful Monday morning with a fresh episode of Enterprise Morning. I am Henry Ibibiki.
And I'm Choma Okoye.
All right, we head straight to our newspaper segments, but not without first inviting you to be part of our community and have a say in what we say. We are Enterprise TV 7 across all social media platforms, and you can also do subscribe to comment, like, and share on our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Our guest for this segment is no other but the Rabbi, Barrister Evans Ufeli, and Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And welcome to Enterprise
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. So we kick off our newspaper segments today with what do we have, Joma?
Yeah, I think we should start with the federal government giving you updates on the supposed 61 stranded Nigerians
Exactly.
With the Air France passengers in Chad. And just a short review on that, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has dismissed reports that 61 Nigerian-bound passengers are stranded in Chad following a technical issue suffered by Air France. Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection of the NCAA, Michael Achimogo, who spoke to Vanguard Weekend, said they have been given accommodation and feeding by the airline. Now, Keyamo is coming out to give us a short review saying that they've been handled and they've been given accommodation and feeding. But the pictures and they calling in are saying that they're stranded. Now, this is quite contradictory. Starting with you, Igbo Barrister Feli. Now, do you think Keyamo coming out to give Nigerians feedback, because previously, before now, most ministers will come out to say anything. They won't even answer to Nigerians. But he is coming out to even answer and give feedback. Do you think this is a good development? And it's also quite contradictory. They're saying they're stranded and they're saying they've been given food and they've been given water. What do you think about that?
Well, whether they have been given food or water or drink or whatsoever, so long as they are not in their destination, they are somewhere else other than where they ought to have been. They are stranded. You are given food does not mean, of course, food is a necessity.
Yeah.
Should you not eat if you are stranded?
Sure.
So Keyamo is doing a good job at making sure that these airlines, they are put on their toes to ensure that Nigerian citizens, get value for money paid for services that this airline ought to render. Apart from that, if you look at the laws on aviation, they generally, the world over, when your flight is delayed for 1 hour, there are certain level of compensation that is required by the airline. Okay? If it's delayed for a day, you are required to get some things to recompense for the time wasted and possibly for the appointment you have missed, the passenger now, and some other variables. It is important. But in Nigeria, when your flight is delayed, most times those things are not given. And because the citizens too don't also file cases against the airlines to reclaim all that. My flight had been delayed on several occasions. I went to court on all 4 occasions. One airline, okay? And I was compensated throughout. There was even one that they gave me 4 tickets, return Abuja round trip twice, okay? Because of the action I filed. And they decided that we should settle out of court. So it is important. Even the international airline, they know that if that happens in their own country or any other civilized country, you will pay seriously for the action, whether it is mechanical, it's unforeseen. The fact that the citizen is stranded ought to be in a location by, say, example, 4 p.m. It's not at that location, it's in some other locations. And you look at the threats, you look at the security risk situation of the place and all that. When you put all that together, it calls for damages. That is what it is. So Keyamo, because he's a lawyer, okay, is outspoken and vocal and has been an activist all the while, would naturally do what he's doing, and that is good for us.
Very true. Mr. Tunji, let's take a look at this. In the aviation sector, safety comes first. It's premium. And with this particular case, it was as a result of a technical issue that made them, ground in Chad. And the whole thing is, do you think we should really make so much noise about this, knowing that the reason why they were grounded in the first place was because they needed to be safe? So do you think that the need for all of the noise that came with it is necessary?
So if you desire correction, if you desire change, you must make noise. When you say no, in quotes, and that noise is in quotes. You must talk. You must hold them to account. That one, you must demand more service. So if you keep quiet, then you are satisfied with what's happening. So you must say something. You must think out to say, look, this is so that they will be able to look at it and say, whether or not it's minor, they will look at it. Once you don't see anything, they will see that nothing is serious. So just like you said, we are that in this country that we don't talk, we don't cry out whenever this kind of issue happens. In fact, they see that normal now in our local flights.
You shouldn't even call it noise. This is a human rights issue.
No, that's why.
Yes, no, using the word noise doesn't quite at all. See, it's because we are used to being neglected, and now we think it's abnormal. If it were to be an aircraft carrying Americans and you do that, that would be the issue for deliberation in Congress that morning.
Really?
They will suspend them. Yes, they will suspend every other thing. Congress, that will be the deliberation, and they will send emissaries. They will send delegates to what? You were here when one of the American citizens were kidnapped by the Boko Haram. When they came from US to rescue him.
Just one person.
Okay, so Barrister Felix, sorry to cut you short. Now, looking at the previous explanation you gave on you filing for taking some of these airlines to court, and you were actually compensated. Do you think Nigerians are well educated on their rights on flying and when they are being mistreated? Because looking at this current explanation, it is evident that our leaders are not treating us well enough, or the airlines will even use their international brands to treat Nigerians well. Now, who's to be held responsible for this and the way Nigerians are being treated?
No, the regulatory authorities, as to the issue of aviation, should be held responsible for not enforcing most of these aviation regulations. Okay, they don't enforce many of these aviation regulations. They're supposed to be fined against the airline by the Nigerian regulatory authority, the airport authority. You understand? All these regulations, we don't put premium on them, because also we don't put premium on the value of the life of our citizens. Otherwise, we will not allow insurgency, Boko Haram, and all that to fester uncontrollably. We will not. You wake up every morning and say 8 persons died there, 100 persons died there, this, that. These are people's children, these are people's brothers, these are people, but we are not. We are already saturated. We feel perhaps life is just whatever it is. Anything you see, you take. Then generally, the citizens also don't actually know how to canvass for their right. Perhaps maybe because they are preoccupied with the cross of survival. Otherwise, they leave a lot of things for God. They'll tell you that I've left you for God and all that. And I don't think God is interested in our indolence. Okay? It should be about we fighting for our rights. That is why I said, no, this is calm the noise. Human rights issues all over the world. You know, once the human right is breached, I mean, those people who are trapped there, they are trapped there as a result of that. Their right to movement have been violated.
I blame the Nigerians for not being responsible in terms of enforcing their rights. It's not generally. You are able to take those actions because you are a lawyer. And most probably you will not pay for legal service. Most Nigerians, that is it. Most Nigerians will see payment of them for legal service. How much my if
cost benefit analysis,
they will look at it. It's about money. Nigeria, they will look at it and they say, at the end of the day, it will take time. I mean, not even let me just what's it called?
Still leave it for God.
So it's about that situation. They don't see those fighting for my rights with whatever it costs as an issue. They see that I can't waste my money.
All right.
So that's just the point.
Yeah, so that's well said. But let's start off move on to the Punch newspaper today, and the big story here: minimum wage AGF tackles labor as NAS fails to stop strike. And right there says AGF says the planned strike violates court order that the government insists on 60,000 naira. Okay,
moving on, but still on the Punch newspaper. CBN clears $830 million foreign airlines trapped funds that is coming from IATA.
Yes, and also on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, ex-worker accomplice killed Lagos businessman steals 3.2 million naira.
24,535 candidates to retake UTME June 2022. June 22nd, I beg your pardon. That is coming from JAM.
All right, that's good. So let's take on this story. We just talked about the airliners and how Keyamo is doing an awesome job with his ministerial role. Now we have it. CBN clears $830 million of foreign airline trapped funds, and that's coming from IATA. Now, do you think this is a great development? Knowing that for a while now, the reason foreign airliners are complaining is because we're holding on to their funds. Now their funds have been released. What's your experience? Do you think this has trickled down the cost of air tickets?
Well, it just happened now. I mean, before now, the foreign airlines have been having issues with repatriating their funds, to their respective countries. And if you look at our laws on foreign participation, Nigeria is one of the countries that has opened the floodgate for foreign investors to come, do business, and by law can repatriate 100% of their funds back to their home country. Not many countries will do that. Okay, well, that's what Nigeria have in our foreign participation law to encourage investors to come in, to stand as an ease of doing business, and to make foreign investors see the Nigerian market as one that is attractive and very good for business. So, but when the issue of floating the naira, the dollar came on, there was an issue as to the ability of the country to now make that possible by its laws. And now they can now do that. That is a way forward. The CBN have been on it for very long, for over 9 months or more, since last year. Okay, till now and all that. So it's a good one for us that at least most of the airlines, apart from Emirates and the other one that left at some point, most of the airlines are still doing business here, and we're having a headway in that direction. So we commend the CBN and the federal government, and we say that they should be able to do more in that direction to bring in more investors. We need more investors in this country because the few ones we have are leaving. Okay? So this is not a time for you to now be having problems with airlines. You have problem with this company, you have with this one and that one, and they are all moving away. It's a time to bring investors in so that if a company comes into this country, definitely the company will employ security men. They will employ workers, manager to this, to that, to that. Now, these companies will come with resources. They will pay salary. The workers will earn salary.
The value chain.
The workers have children, yes. They have dependents, and it will trickle down. That is the economy of, industrial relation. So that will now go. So, but when you don't have those companies, then the citizens are trapped back. Okay, crime will increase. People will begin to do all sorts. You understand? So I think it's a way to go.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Phil. Now, moving over to you, Pastor Tunji. Let's get into the educational sector. Looking at 24,535 candidates to retake UTME June 22nd, that is coming from JAM. Now, looking at our current education in Nigeria, this is the first time I should be seeing this in the history of 24,535 to retake JAM. And looking at the current cut-off bank that was given, and 24,000 students couldn't meet up to it. What do you have to say about the educational system? Are teachers doing well, or is it from the parents or the students? What is happening?
Or is social media doing the damage?
I think firstly, the take of the exam is not because they didn't do well. It's not the feeling of the opportunity to just come out and do it. It's probably because of technical issue at that time. There are issues raised by JAM. Regarding some students. So probably they want to give them that benefit of doubt and fear them to be able to retake the exam. So you see, our education quality in this country has gone down. It's no longer what it was before now. People, the advent of no thanks to the advent of social media, thanks for it again, because most of our children, what they use social media for dating, it's not for research. It's mostly for those activities that are not related to their papers. So, and they are taking away their time. They know how to play all kinds of games. They know how to do all kinds of social media activities. So it's about societal issue. The parents are involved, the schools are involved, the government are involved. So there is a lot of combination of factors that is causing these people. Sometimes some of these students are not even mature enough to be at the level they are.
Many of them.
Because I remember when the school Nigerian went to, they call it Montessori, and it's about 6 years. I know parents who took their students away, their people away from a primary 4. They were, you know, that remaining 2 years, say they pass a common class or what they went to, and they took them to
sometime at age 4.
Yes,
they are done with primary school.
Yeah, they do that. And, you see the funniest part of it. My daughter said when we went to do the one that she did her own up to primary 6. Those are left in primary 4. When she was doing her jam, we met at the center.
So why the rush?
By the time you do all those, you follow the 663 or whatever system of all, that guy or boy will be mature before getting to the university. And we are rushing our children these days. I don't know what the rush is all about. Some people it's about bragging. My children and my child or whatever I did it. So some of them is about school fees. These 2 years school fees again will be something. Let me say so many factors about it. And the parents are not taking matter, like I said. Some of them are pampering those children in a way that they will not do them. It's a lot. All
right. So let's move on to our next daily.
Yes, and we have the Daily Independent on our decks. Moving on, the big story here. NAS last-minute moves failed to stop Labour's nationwide strike. And we have about 3 riders to this story. NLC, TUC, industrial action. Premature, illegal, federal government wants. Darkness, feels scarcity loom as NUEE, Le Pen, others join. Last rider, aviation unions vow to shut down activities at all airports. Details are on page 29.
All right, still on the Daily Independent, on the downstream of the same newspaper. Hardship, we won the Nigerians against the voting APC, and that's coming from Tambuwa.
Killing of 5 soldiers, Labour Party fought threat of overwhelming military onslaught on Abia.
All right, for the want of time, let's just kick off this. To you, Burst Evans Ufeni, let's think about this. We won the Nigerians against the voting APC, coming from Tambuwa. Is this new?
It's not Tambuwa that will tell the Nigerians who to vote for, because when he was in authority, what did he do to remedy the Nigerian situation? From being, he was in the National Assembly now. Okay, and he was also a governor. Okay, so what did he do to remedy the Nigerian situation? That is not to exonerate the APC from this whole shenanigan, what is going amiss in our country. But the truth is that those who try to point accusing finger at others are equally themselves those who contributed to the breakdown of what we call Nigeria today. You see, what is happening today is an accumulation of deprivation. Accumulation of deprivation in the sense that labor, I mean, let's also remember that even this labor that is shouting, that is the mainstream now, that wants to have a minimum wage that is befitting, that can take them home according to them. They are less than 1% of Nigerian population. You understand? They are less than 1%. So the civil society and the private sector and every other angle, okay, that are also joining the strike. Are their employers also drawn to increasing wages to make you know? So the issue is quite difficult and dicey. Okay, but I think the strike, I support the strike, because you cannot tell me that Nigeria, okay, cannot pay that amount that they are asking for. You can't tell me that. They can pay it, but they don't want to pay it because they feel, since you have 2 different laws, one for workers, one for the leaders, and I think that is the injustice there. We have a uniform labor law. We have a labor law, just that when it comes to wages, those who are leading, they will not tell you that they have a revenue mobilization, there's a name called revenue mobilization or something. Yes, that design how they should be paid. That's a revenue mobilization, and they cannot design how the workers, civil servants, federal civil servant or state civil servant should be paid. So it tells you that you have inequalities in our industrial relations. The government is not doing enough. Okay, when people are earning 30,000 naira and they have to buy fuel at this cost, they have to pay for electricity tariff at the current cost. They have to send children to school because you are also not putting the primary and secondary school in order. So they are not able to send their children to your public and private, your public primary and secondary school for them to save that money. They will put their children in private schools. At the end of the day, no worker really, every civil servant, if people are morally upright, with everything the civil servants are earning, with the money they earn, everybody is on deficit. Everyone, if you check what it costs to subsist, to make up the family, to spend on this, and everybody is on deficit. But you know why they're able to succeed? Some of them are able to succeed and put up with it is because they will now compromise the ethics of their office by taking bribes. By sometimes they will come to work and bring granite to come and sell. We've seen teachers who come to work and be selling walnuts and all that. So they begin to compromise it and make mess of it. Government should address this issue. Must look at them.
Okay. Thank you. Before we call it a wrap up, Pastor Chinji, just briefly, maybe in 2 minutes, can you just can we go into Abia State, looking at the killing of the soldiers, of 5 soldiers, and Labour Party fought threat of overwhelming military onslaught on Abia for the reason. And in March this year, there was a killing of soldiers. There were killing of soldiers in Delta. Okay. Yes. And now this is just June, and we're having fresh killings in Abia State. And there is an instruction that is urging them to fish out the culprits. They've not fished out the culprits in Delta. Do you think there'll be a fishing out in Abia State?
That is the problem I've been having. That's why. And that's why this issue of people doing the wrong thing is still continuing. Because people who have done it before have not been punished. Nobody has been brought to book. Thank you. And the more you allow that, the more people interested, because the people will see that nothing can happen or nothing will happen. So for me, it's sad that people, not even ordinary civilian, not civilian, killing your fellow human being for not just cause. I think for me, it's uncalled for, and it's not it should be encouraged at all. Whether soldier, whether civilian, whether anybody. I don't see the reason why we are all human beings. If you are brave, you can do your grief in a letter way. If you can't follow the letter, you take it softly, not about killing people. That those people that have been killed will now resolve the issue.
Very true.
Thank
yes,
you,
yes. So that's just about the time we have for our news people reviews. Love to say a big thank you to Pastor Stefan Feli for being part of our show, and Pastor Chinji, thank you so also very much for being part of our show today. Yeah.
When we return, Nigeria heads into lockdown today as talks to reach a new minimum wage end in deadlock.
That'll be our conversation when we come back. Please don't go anywhere.